Hi everybody, this is JPar, and that's right, we're reviewing that 80s classic, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And now you might be asking, why would we review this? Well, that's because there's a new Bill and Ted movie coming out this year. Or supposed to be this year. I mean, I haven't really seen a trailer for it, and this whole thing going on makes me wonder if it's even going to be a theater anyway. And yeah, it's coming out this year. Sure it is. Sure it is. Uh, I guess I'll just have to face the music and just have to watch the classic original Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, my friends, and review it instead. All right, on with the show. Hi, buddy. This is JPar, and you are watching the We Promise Nothing show. Tonight on the show, we have Scott,
Hey.
we have Clayton,
Hey.
and we have Kathy.
Hi.
And tonight on the show, we are going to review Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure because. Just because. Because they, before all this crazy stuff happened, they were going to put out a new Bill and Ted movie called Bill and Ted Face the Music, which I'm sure some of you are aware of. And we even did a little review for this movie on Late Night Ticket, and we shall be doing it again here. So this is the unrated version, folks. And we're going to be talking about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So, how's everybody tonight?
I'm
doing
pretty good. I actually just recently watched the movie again, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. I have
That's good.
opinions.
I feel like we watched it like 6 months ago for Late Night Ticket.
Yeah, I wasn't on that episode.
Oh, you weren't? Oh, okay. All right.
I just have a face that gets forgotten, I guess. My review couldn't have been that good.
Well, I watched it last night. It was pretty good.
I just watched it about a week ago.
All right. So, according to IMDb, it still says 2020 for Bill and Ted Face the Music. But yes, this movie stars Keanu Reeves before he was John Wick. Before you know him as John Wick and Neo, this is where Keanu Reeves got his start from. So, Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, George Carlin, and others.
And the rest.
So it was written by Ed Solomon and Chris Matheson. They're like they started it as like it was a routine that they did on stage as like a comedy duo.
Okay.
Yeah. He also wrote the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh wow!
Wow.
I know. But
Credits
right after Mario Brothers, he wrote Men in Black. So he, directly right after it.
You got all that crap out of the way.
Directed by Stephen Herrick, apparently. Yeah, so written by Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon.
Yeah.
And let's talk about first impressions. Where were y'all? Because we're all the right age. Because when this came out, we were all young and still good looking, and now we're old and good looking.
Bald and fat.
It came out in 1989. So let's start with you, Scott, because you have a fondness for this movie, and I think you even went to the theater to go see it, right?
I don't know if I saw this one in the theater. I don't remember. I know I saw the second one in the theater. I don't think I saw the first one in the theater, though. But I could have. But when I was young, it was great. I really enjoyed it as a kid. And just I liked heavy metal and stuff like that. So it's like one of the first movies that I saw that was like based around the premise of like heavy metal. Like saving the world and stuff like that. So like this movie is really good. I enjoyed it watching it again last night.
Yeah.
But like I'm biased on it. Like I'm nostalgic. There's a lot of nostalgia based on this. And then it was influential and a lot of fun. It's kind of a parody of things. It even acknowledges that the way it's written. Parody more or less of like Doctor Who.
Is it a parody or is it a rip?
Well, no, but you can say that if you wanted to. But that's basically like when they wrote it, it was like a parody of those things, time travel
well,
movies and Doctor Who.
it was definitely heavily inspired by not only Doctor Who, Doctor Who, but that's the artist version of Doctor Who. He's Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He's different hues and palettes for all his colors that he uses. Yes. But obviously it's an influence of Doctor Who and Back to the Future because, this came out around the same time as the sequels to the Back to the Future movies.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
this was 89. So it's definitely around the same time because the first one's based in 1985. So
Back to
by
the
the time
Future
the third
2
one.
Back to the Future 2 came out in 89. So they were definitely
Okay.
trying to dominate off that, young teens traveling through time kind of thing,
Yeah.
And living in California, in that area and being the skater kids and, just the hair metal, just that scene at that time, it was definitely like a thing, right?
When I look back on this movie, I think about all of the other movies like it that I lump into the same category. Dumb white American kids, like Wayne's World, Encino Man, basically every Pauly Shore movie. Airheads. Remember Airheads?
Yeah, Airheads is good too.
But they're all that same like dumb, like idiots with a heart of gold type thing.
Yeah. That's what it is, right? And they're just like super like into hair metal and terrible.
I know. Yeah. I got as a huge metal and hair metal fan. I looking back on it, I'm like, man, that's where the music scene was then, and it was like,
right.
That was rough.
I was having a good think about that the other day. I'm like, man, it's like I miss good music, like. I was like thinking of all the bands that we listened to when we were younger and like.
Oh, well, I was thinking about like, like how it, like Wayne's World too. Like at the end of this movie, it's not really a spoiler, but the two like English chicks joined the band. And if you watch like Howard the Duck or, what's the other one? Wayne's World. Like where it's like chick fronted or chick metal bands. It's all like weird, like glam, like lingerie and you know what I mean? Lingerie and like smooth guitar riffs. And it's just, they're all talking about metal and I'm like, man, that's like the smoothest metal I've ever heard.
Well,
greasy.
It got pretty popular. So Bill and Ted.
Oh no, yeah, it did for sure. But,
and even had a cartoon.
You get herpes just by listening to it, right?
Well, Wayne's World had a great soundtrack. This didn't really have a soundtrack to go with it.
I don't know, yeah, but Tia Carrera as a singer, I don't know, man.
Wait, are you saying Tia Carrera as a singer is good or bad?
Bad.
Oh,
bad.
Well,
not bad. Great, I mean, though. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Right, and that was the whole premise.
Let's not get distracted here. Back to Bill and Ted. So so it was pretty popular. It got a sequel, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It was good enough to get a sequel. Made Keanu a star because look at all the things he done after that. And then every time you just think, every time you thought like Keanu was like done with movies, he always comes out with another big hit, right? Like after this, there was like a big slump for a while. And then he got Speed, and then there was a slump for a while, and then it was Matrix. And for a while, then
after this, there was Johnny Mnemonic.
Mnemonic.
Remember that movie?
Yeah, the movie with the weird title. I had like an M and an N.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Mnemonic. Whatever. Yeah. Anyways, so do you remember the cartoon and all that, Scott?
Yeah, I do remember the cartoon. They voiced the cartoon as well, which is pretty cool.
Did
they? Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. It was actually Keanu and Alex Winter?
Keanu and Alex Winter,
yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy, you remember?
Because at the time they were...
I don't remember too much. Like I don't think I ever watched the cartoon.
Was that the last thing that Alex Winter ever did? Or
well, that would be like no. because he went into directing and then did other acting and stuff like that.
Oh, he took the Ron Howard path.
Yeah,
He was also in
I read
Lost
up on him a bit before here. Plus, what I followed now, like with his stuff that's coming out right now, like he's got a Frank Zappa documentary coming out. I think actually it's already
pretty cool. That's cool.
And but after Bill and Ted, he went into directing, and I can't remember the name of the movie, but he got like a $13 million budget and it made like $25,000.
Ooh.
So yeah, and so that kind of fell apart. But then he was directing TV episodes, like just kind of had like a career like in the background, like still making money and stuff like that. Just not at that high performing level like Keanu is, like where he's making blockbusters and stuff like that.
You know what? To be honest, I don't even know how Keanu even managed to pull a movie career out of his early acting because
He's got likability.
Exactly.
He's got likability.
He's like every surfer ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not as endearing as Jeff Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but he's better than someone like Joey Lawrence from Blossom. You know?
Joey, whoa!
You know?
They got the same catchphrase. All right.
Yeah, Joey was more like a valley boy, and
that's what it is.
And he's more got that like surfer skater talk from like California. Like
okay, so where do you put Matt LeBlanc from Friends in there then, Joey? Where do you put him into that?
I don't know. He's from New York, I guess. He's just like
he's from New York though. That's not California. It's not in the same area.
Hey.
Carrying on.
Yeah.
Don't have much time.
Yeah, maybe like Dice Clay or something, like a G-rated Dice Clay.
A G-rated Dice.
Good call. Good pull. Good pull.
Hickory dickory dock.
Yeah.
That's actually just ran up the clock. Hey.
Yeah, we know what she was doing.
All right, moving right along here. Let's get into the ratings. So the way we break it down here is we break it down out of a 5-star rating. We're all going to let you know how we got there, but we're going to save some of the juicy bits for the end when we let you know about our best and our worst. So let's start here with Scott. What did you give Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yeah, I'm going to have to give it a biased 4. I know it's not really a 4. It's probably more like a 3.5 because just fond memories of this movie, and it's a lot of fun. I actually like the sequel more. They did different things in it, but I like this one a lot too. So yeah, it's just I'll give it a 4.
So
okay, Clayton, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. And it's kind of a generous 3.5 because I find that this movie at the time was like really great. You know, we all thought it was great, but going back and watching it now, I'm like, man, this is what passed for entertainment for a good like 6 or 7 years. I mean, Pauly Shore, an entire acting career out of this character. You know what I mean? Like going back and watching it, I'm like, man, the 90s were like just a terrible time. What is with the like cut off jeans and the vest over the t-shirt?
I don't care, man. I miss the 80s.
Yeah, the belly top. Even back then, the belly top.
Alex Winter rocking the belly top. It was weird when I saw it there, and it was weird when I saw it in Weird Science. But he comes out like a 14-year-old kid comes out in like skivvies and a cut off like t-shirt, and I'm like, man, what the hell is going on down in LA? Like I was a kid when I watched this stuff, and I was like, man, this is too much.
It was The Rock, man.
It was funny. It was funny to go back, like to watch it and just remember what movies were like back then. You know, It was a cool memory trip, like a nostalgia trip.
Yeah. So 3.5, generously.
Yeah.
And Kathy.
Well, I'll have to give it a 4. You know, it was fun. You know, it was good. You know, I still laughed at it. So. I don't know. I still really enjoyed it. I mean,
69, dude.
You know, I mean, I noticed I still quote it. Like I like things that I quote and I'm not knowing where it came from. And it's like, oh, that's where it came from. So yeah, I get it deserves a 4 for that.
Okay, and I will also give it a 3.5.
And yeah, like Clayton, I give it a generous extra 0.5 because of nostalgia's sake. So, because yeah, as compared to other movies from that time, it's not really as good as like Back to the Future or like an Indiana Jones or Star Wars or maybe some other stuff. But it was still good and very passable entertainment for the time. And you're saying like what was going on in the 80s, or like, there wasn't like good movies that's passable movies back then. Well, I'm sorry, a lot of the movies nowadays just plain suck. Like, I don't even care. There's some sort of magic that's in those 80s movies and those old movies. There was just something about that time. And I feel like this, as cheesy and as much of a ripoff it is of Back to the Future and Doctor Who, it still passes. It's still very entertaining, and it's still very much fun to watch. So, yeah, let's get into our best and our worst. This is where we're going to break it down, let you know what our least favorite and our most favorite thing about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So let's take it away, Scott.
Yeah, so my favorite thing about the movie is the chemistry between the two characters and the two actors. I think that's it's really good between them. It's very, very good, and that's why in the sequel it was nice because we got to see those characters together again, and that's why I'm excited to see the third one. It's the chemistry between the two of those actors doing this. Well, it's definitely the best thing.
Yeah.
And so I think the thing that I dislike the most is probably like Napoleon's scenes. I think that
that's the most. Out. Oh, that's what you like the most. Okay.
The least. No, the least.
The least.
Napoleon is historically a dick.
Napoleon. He has a couple good ones, but it kind of goes on for a bit, like with the ice cream scene. Like, I'm like, okay.
Great.
Like there is good ones. It's just I feel like they might have been able to cut out one or two. Like, it's still hilarious though, because it's like it does almost get into that situation where it's like so bad it's good.
Yeah.
When he stops the kid from taking the last scoop of ice cream there, crosses spoons.
Yes. I'm so proud to get that medallion or that little thing they put on his chest.
Little Ziggy Piggy.
Yeah.
I'm just like so proud of that. Like
the two guys that come over and they're singing to him, like when they're doing whatever I can't remember what they're saying to him, when they come over after he finishes the ice cream. That's actually Ed Sullivan and Chris Matheson, the writers.
Oh, okay.
A little
nice.
cameo in there, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that's about it.
That's terrible. Like, Napoleon's like one of my favorite things about this movie.
Oh, man.
So what's your favorite then?
I said my favorite was the chemistry.
Oh, right. Yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay, Clayton.
I think my favorite is probably there's a couple of times later on in the movie where they sort of cleverly used the time traveling thing,
or
like with the car keys, where he's like, oh yeah, man, yeah, we'll just leave the keys here. We'll leave them right here, and he reaches behind the thing, and the keys are right there, like they already did it,
And now. Go ahead. Yeah.
They kind of snuck that in there, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of neat. I thought that it's dumb, but I mean,
it is dumb.
It is. It's dumb, but I mean, if you think about it,
dumb
from a pure time traveling idea.
Oh yeah, we gotta remember to do it later.
We gotta remember to do it later, and then it happens. Yeah, but that's the thing about time travel.
The logic actually works.
That is the fucking writing, I'm telling you. That's the writers being like, oh, we got like 20 minutes left in this movie.
Yeah.
What do we do? Oh, I know. Since it's time travel, they can just make up any bullshit they want. As long as they do it later, it's totally fine.
That's the thing, though. Like, that's why it works. It's like, I'm just going to reach back here because this is where I would have put it in the future. And I got it.
Bullshit. Lazy writing.
It's the equivalent of a Looney Tunes character pulling an Acme mallet out from behind his back, right?
Yeah.
Rick and Morty that in
I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny.
So yeah, Kathy, best and worst.
All right. Well, my least favorite is actually I couldn't stand the stepmother. I don't even think that there was necessarily a use for her in the movie. They just kind of threw her in there. You know what I mean? She drove them places, but that's about it. Like, but She wasn't really necessary.
Well,
you know what I mean? I don't know. She just annoyed me.
For...
She like even back when I was 17, she annoyed me. But like now, she annoys me. I don't know why. There's something. I don't know if it's the actor itself or it's just the writing of her or whatever. But she always bugged me. So that was my least favorite part of the movie.
Okay.
But my favorite part was, of course, there's I have to give an honorable mention to George Carlin.
Yeah.
George
Carlin.
Cat.
Yeah, George Carlin was absolutely awesome. But my absolute favorite scene was the mall scene, where all these historical characters got together and how they enjoyed the mall. For example, Genghis Khan with that aluminum bat or whatever, and Beethoven was,
Beethoven.
just rocking out on the piano or whatever. Joan of Arc was totally exercising, and Freud was Freuding,
Yeah. Sigmund Freud.
Yeah.
Socrates and
Socrates. Yeah.
Socrates.
I don't know. But basically, and then the music that they were playing through that mall thing was very exciting. It was very, yeah. Play
with me.
Anyway, so yeah, that always gets me excited. So that's part of it. And of course, and I also agree, Napoleon scenes were kind of funny, even though they did get on my nerves at the same time. So I'm kind of on the fence about that part. But other than that, those were my least and favorite parts.
Napoleon is historically a dick, though.
Yeah, exactly, and he played it perfectly. He took kids away from the water slide or whatever, and
he goes to Waterloo. How was that not hilarious?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are running out of time, and I'm going to fit in my best and my worst right now.
Okay.
You got your best and worst out, right? Yes, you did.
I did.
Okay, great.
Go.
So, Napoleon is awesome. I love Napoleon. He's my favorite out of the historical figures they bring back because of the ice cream scene and because he goes to Waterloo, which is hilarious if you know anything about history. So that is hilarious. How he's afraid of the slide at first, and then like you said, he's pushing kids out of the way. He even puts his spoon in there to get that last bit of ice cream. He's so proud of the medal. He's great. So he's my favorite character out of the historical figures. But what I wanted to mention, just the whole movie itself. It's funny that it's a movie, and this is my favorite thing about the movie, is it's funny that it's a movie about time travel, but it itself is a time capsule of just the way kids were back then and how we saw things. So, I mean, even George Carlin's in it, a great comedian who we don't have anymore, unfortunately. So, and, Keanu and Alex Winters, Bill and Ted, they're into all the music that was popular back then, the hair metal, and they're trying to become rockers. So it was just a nice little time capsule of that time. So that's what my favorite thing is about it. I love the nostalgia, and that's what I enjoy about it the most. And the other thing, the worst. Let's get into the worst. So the thing you like the most, Clayton, is the thing I hate the most about this movie.
Lazy time travel writing?
This movie's only an hour and a half long. They're how do we rate the rest of this movie? Oh, I know. They'll just say it, and then it happens. And as long as they do it later when they go time, it's totally fine. We'll solve all our problems. And you know why it's bullshit? You want to know why it's complete bullshit? Is because they're remember the garbage can. Remember the garbage can. Who dropped the garbage can? How was that there? Okay, if they go back in time, it still doesn't explain how the fucking garbage can lands on his head. It makes no sense. Are they up there holding the garbage can, waiting to drop it on Ted's dad's head? Or is it a rope there that was just waiting to fall and it fell appropriately at that time? It makes not a lick of sense.
You know what doesn't make any sense?
What?
How in the hell, these guys, they did their high school history project or whatever on these great historical figures.
Mm-hmm.
What about them makes society change so that they are everybody thinks that they're so great? What happened about that one time where they suddenly changed all of society?
Well, no, they didn't change society then. They're going to change society later on. They're going to write a tune that's going to save the universe. But they get if they fail the test, they get separated. And Ted has to go to military school, and then they never create the song later on. And then they explore that in the sequel. And now in the third one, it's going to be the full arc of they're going to explain how that goes down.
It'll be interesting to see how well that particular universe translates into these days.
It'll be interesting to see if it gets a theatrical release or direct to streaming or video or something. What do you guys think? What's going to happen there?
It's looking like it's. Well, from what I've heard, it's most likely gonna go to stream.
Yeah, I think so. That's too bad. Like, we've been waiting a while to see like a Bill and Ted 3. You know,
you could do worse though. Like big AAA movie stars like Will Smith do like Bright. You know, lots of stuff comes to Netflix that has like Adam Sandler in it, and AAA stars. What's the one? Extraction with
Chris
Hemsworth, which was really good. It was good.
Decent, yeah.
I would have gone and seen that in theaters for sure.
Scott, your video was messed up again. But anyways, we're almost running out of time, so it doesn't matter.
Scott has left the building.
Yeah, no kidding. He's just frozen. Look at him.
He's left the bandwidth.
Let it go. Oh, God, he's gone!
And he's gone.
And he's coming back. Technical difficulties, folks. Wow, we've never had that on an episode before.
I made it back.
Yeah, you did. That's before the end. All right,
I think
final
it'll be
thoughts
better
on Bill and Ted.
Yeah, I would say still watch it for sure. Like, it's definitely an interesting watch, and if you want to see what things were like back in 1989, it's definitely, like you said, it's definitely a time capsule.
Mm-hmm. If you want to see what Keanu was like before he was John Wick, when he would murder you for killing his dog. Then...
Wow, who wouldn't though? I mean,
right?
Yeah, but I mean, and he'll do it efficiently too. He won't just murder you; he'll do it efficiently
with a pencil.
Thinking like, man, a lot of guys were wearing belly shirts in 1989.
I just want to put it on record that I was not wearing a belly shirt.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, neither was I.
Neither was I.
All right. So this is JPar signing out saying, be excellent to each other. Someone's leaving the building. Someone's going bye-bye.
You got to do the air guitar, though, Jay.
Oh.
Stallions. All right. Be excellent to each other, folks. And this is JPar signing out.
Party on, dudes.
69.
And if you disagree with anything you've heard, if you disagree with anything you heard in this review today, you can leave a comment below. But as always, we promise nothing.
That wasn't bad. That was better. We'll get it eventually.
We'll get it.
We did it. That's as close as it's going to get. You better enjoy that. Well, laugh. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes!